Hi you guys, it's Erica Vetra. Welcome back. It's Sunday afternoon and I'm coming to you from Doi Suthep, a beautiful mountain outside of Chiang Mai. I've had a lot of requests lately for a little bit more advice on chair pose, so I'm going to just make this real quick video to show you a little bit more details about chair pose, or Utkatasana. So this is kind of a pose that's really heavy for the legs. It builds a lot of heat, so it's nice to do early in your practice to get warmed up. As much as it is about the lower body, there's a lot of stuff going on in the upper body. So I'll just talk you through it real quick. Come to standing, bring your feet together. So ideally you would want the big toe ballmans of your feet to be touching, and you'd want your heels to be about 1 inch apart. And if that doesn't feel quite right to you, if that's a little uncomfortable, you're welcome to take your feet just a little further out, just a couple inches. Make sure they're parallel. And a good rule of thumb is to have the outside edges of your feet parallel. So it's almost as if your toes were turning in just a little bit, right? So now that you've got your leg placement, you want to keep in mind that as you go into this pose, your knees should not be coming in front of your toes. You should be able to see your toes and lift your toes at all times. You really want your weight centered back over your heels. So the way I like to come into this pose is to kind of squat down. Instead of thinking about putting your butt down, think about sticking it back, as if someone was like pulling you by the waist of your pants or of your shorts backwards, right? So kind of start to squat down, touch the ground with your fingertips, kind of just brush the ground, and that should be about the depth of your chair pose. And of course, you're welcome to modify this. You can come up a little bit, you can go down deeper, but just as a good rule of thumb to start with, brush the ground with your fingertips, and then draw your arms forward and up over your head. Kind of like you're sitting in an awkward chair. This is why it's called chair pose. So clearly there's a lot of things going on here. You want to keep rooting down really strongly into the big toe ballmans of your feet and your heels, especially your heels. And like I said before, you should be able to lift your toes up. Now your knees, you want to keep them tracking right over your feet. So depending on whether your feet are touching or if they're a few inches apart, you should have your knees perfectly in line with your feet. And sticking your butt back, feeling this a lot in your thighs. Like I said, this pose is going to generate heat really quickly. So from the side, what it's going to look like is, your butt's back, and then you want a flat back. So moving up, starting to get into a little of the upper body activation. You shouldn't have any hammock action going on, right? So it's not like you're sticking your butt way out. On the other end of the spectrum, it shouldn't be curled too much in, so you shouldn't have too much of a rounding effect. You want kind of a nice flat, kind of like a launching pad situation, I guess. So I like to keep my hand on my lower back to kind of adjust here. Remember, you keep your knees back over your heels. And then as you bring your arms up, keep your core engaged. So you'll start to find that there's a lot of core engagement happening here. Draw your belly button almost towards your spine, but also up towards your heart. And then draw the sides of your rib cage together. So the more you keep your core engaged, the more secure you'll feel in this pose. And then as you draw your arms up, you might find that your shoulders begin to kind of creep up towards your ears, shortening your neck. So you want to really draw them back and down, almost as if you were trying to put your shoulder blades in your back pockets. So really kind of keeping your chest open, shoulders back, remembering not to lose this core engagement, right? Keep your throat open. As you draw your arms up, send your fingertips as far away from your tailbone as possible. So it's like you're envisioning sort of a straight line from your butt, from your tailbone, all the way through the front of your head and out your fingertips. And you can look up if you want, just make sure it's not crunching your neck. So a good rule of thumb is to try to keep the wrinkles out of the back of your neck. This way your spine can stay as long and straight as possible. And you can hold this for 1 breath, 2 breaths, 10 breaths, 5 minutes, whatever you need. As I said, feel free, you can go lower, you can really challenge yourself in this pose, or you can kind of come out of it a little bit. And when you're ready to come out, keep your arms as they are, straighten your legs, and just kind of fold forward. Remember to relax your head. You're welcome to, grab opposite elbows, sway a little bit side to side, pedal your knees out, just real slow, real soft. And that's it, that's chair pose. And so it's important to do this pose in moderation at first, especially if you're new to it. It is a very challenging pose, and it's very good for you. Just like with anything, you don't want to overdo it. Don't do too much too soon. So really just give your body a chance to get used to it. As always, let me know if you have any questions, comments, feedback, anything at all. Subscribe to me on YouTube, Erica Vetra, or just email me, info@vetrafitness.com. And namaste from Thailand. I'll see you soon.